Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. So today we're going to make an arrangement for a get well soon. We're going to use a glass vase that's filled with fresh water, and it has fresh floral food in the water. We use a powdered fresh floral food, which helps to keep the flowers fed, and it has a little bit of almost like a bleach agent that helps to fight the bacteria that grows in the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my floral knife and some leather leaf. I'm going to cut that stem at an angle, and I just cut it a little short. So my greenery was falling below the water line, so I pulled that right out and pulled the bottom leaves off. Now, anytime you're working with foliage, you want to make sure that your foliage does not fall below this water line. What happens is it causes bacteria to grow in that water. So if you can do your best to keep that greenery from falling below that water line, it is good. So I'm just cutting my greenery, tucking it right over into this vase of water. I like to use a base of leather leaf just because it's inexpensive. It's an inexpensive foliage, and it helps to give me a little bit of a grid for my flowers. It helps to keep them standing up straight. Next, I'm going to come in with some Israeli ruscus. So Israeli ruscus, of course, normally comes green. This is a painted variety. During the holiday seasons or the fall and the winter, a lot of times foliage will come in. You can order it painted. Now, I really like that this looks so pretty in burgundy. I have taken it myself here at the shop and painted it, but it works out real nice that this has been painted for me, so I don't have to waste my time or my money. And it's a fairly inexpensive product, so it works out really great to give us just a little bit of color and a little bit of a line flower in this arrangement. Next, I'm going to come in with a little bit of seeded eucalyptus. So we have some really pretty seeded eucalyptus. I'm going to actually break it apart, and I am going to tuck that right down in that vase. Now, you can wait and use your eucalyptus at the end if you want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and nestle it right into this vase. There we go. And it is going to help hold all of our flowers in place. All right, so there is our greenery. I'm going to lay this to the side. I'm going to save these little tiny pieces. We will use them in another arrangement that's shorter. Next, we're going to come in with some solidago. Now, the reason I'm using my solidago right here is because I am using it kind of as a line flower in here. My line flower is not very tall or showy, so I'm going to just use a little bit of this solidago to define my height. Now, often I will do that with either Bells of Ireland or Blue Delphinium, or to something that gives us a little bit of height. But today my line flower is stock, so it's not too terribly tall, so I'm coming in with it next, and I'll show you how we'll use it. Next, I have a beautiful royal purple stock. So, stock comes in tons of colors, and I say tons of colors. It comes in lavender, it comes in royal purple, it comes in even a deep plum color, which is so pretty. It comes in a mauve, kind of a mauvey pink color, a lemony color. So lots of pretty colors. I love stock. I love the smell of stock. Not everybody loves it, but for me personally, it's one of my favorite. The next flower we're going to come in with is these pretty orange spray roses. Take my floral knife, cut that at an angle. I'm just going to nestle those right down into my arrangement. Tuck those right in. Okay, so there's our spray roses. Next, we have really pretty yellow, bright yellow cushion mums. So these are really tall. Look how tall they are. So we're going to use one of these as a really tall flower and the other will just kind of stair step down. So I'm going to come up here at the top, I think. Cut that stem at an angle and stick that guy right there in the top. And then I'm going to come down here to the side and add the second one. I am going to pull off a few of the lower blooms, lay them on my table, cut my stem at an angle, and I'm going to nestle this guy right in here to the side. Sometimes you just have to look at it and say, okay, I think you need to go here and you need to go here. Sometimes you have to rearrange a little bit, but it's completely okay. So I did move one of my purple stock over to the other side, so my purple was kind of throughout. Next, we're going to come in with some beautiful bright yellow roses. Now, if I were to be asked what color is my favorite rose, of course it would be yellow because you know that's my color. So I'm going to grab a couple of little stems of wire and we are going to wire these roses. I got about a half dozen little knives in there. If I ever lose a knife, they're in here in this room. So I'm going to take my rose. I'm leaving some of this pretty greenery on. I'm going to take a little wire, press it right into that calyx, not too far. You don't want to pierce all the way through. And I'm going to wrap that wire right around that stem. I'm going to do that with all three of my roses. And if you've watched me any amount of time, the reason I do that is it gives me a little extra added security. It's going to ensure that these little heads stay upright. Sometimes our flowers don't get quite enough water. And when they don't get quite enough water, the little stem that holds that pretty heavy head, it does not have enough water and enough strength to hold that heavy head up. So it'll slowly dip. Well, what this wire does is gives it that support it needs. So if in case it doesn't get enough water, you're not going to see my roses' heads dipped in an arrangement. Oh, it's devastating to me. And I know that's kind of silly. But for me, that's important. It's important that these flowers stay happy and straight up. So I turned my arrangement around to look. I'm going to stagger these yellow roses 1, 2, 3, kind of right there in the middle. So I'm going to start out with my tallest. I'm going to turn my arrangement and I am just going to work that right down into that base, okay? Next, I'm going to take my second one, and you're going to kind of hold, I have found, to measure your flowers. So you see this one, it stems pretty long. So if you'll hold it here on your countertop and measure it that way, then you know roughly about how much to take off that stem. Okay. There's 2 roses, and then my third is going to come a little lower. So I kind of measured that up against. I measure it right here on my countertop. Cut that stem at an angle. Now always, guys, be very careful when cutting those stems. You would rather cut off too little than too much, okay? Always take that into consideration. Think about it. Always be conservative when cutting those stems. You can always cut more stem off, but you can't add stem to it. So always think about that. Okay, our next flower, it's really more of a pod. So these are called billy balls. It's Crispidia is their scientific name. They're just little yellow orbs. And oh, do they make me so happy. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to place them kind of up here in that burgundy. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to kind of measure, tuck him in. And these just kind of give us a different little texture, just a fun little texture in this arrangement. And then we have some berries. So we have some fun Hypericum berries. They're kind of a peachy tone. Hypericum berry. So I like to turn it around, look at it, see where I want it. I think I'll tuck one on one side and one on the other. So I'm just tucking that right down in. All right, and then let me show you the fun thing we have here. These are called a pumpkin on a stem. They are so fun. I really think they're persimmons, but they're kind of fun. So fun to look at. So we're gonna take these and tuck these little pumpkins into this arrangement. Again, it's just a fun little something to add. And this one's broken, so I'm gonna pull it off. Okay. All right, so those little pumpkins are kind of tucked up high. Now, to finish our arrangement, we're gonna use some fun fall ribbon. So, here at our shop, we have just started selling we've just started selling ribbon. So on our Shopify website, if you're interested in seeing all the fun ribbons we have, you can check out our Shopify website. I will have Owen link that here in the description down below. But this is some of the fun fall ribbon we got in. And so all of it's for sale, and we would ship it directly to you right here from our flower shop. So if you're interested in any fun ribbons, let us know. We'd love to help you out. So I'm going to start out with this cute fall gingham plaid, and I am just going to make some fun loops. I like to leave a long tail, and I am going to make 3 loops. So one on the top, and I'm going to twist to the right. One on the bottom, I'm going to twist to the left, and one on the top, I'm going to twist to the right. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to cut that tail right there. Okay, so there's our first part of our ribbon. I like to layer ribbons just because that's just the most fun to me. So next I'm going to take a pretty orange, and this is called royal burlap, an orange royal burlap. And we have it in every color in the rainbow, so if you're interested in that. These are all 10-yard rolls, and they are all wired ribbon that I'm using today. So I'm going to take and make a loop, twist, a loop, twist, and a loop. Okay, and then I'm going to cut my ribbon. So there's 2 colors. We have the fall gingham plaid, we have the royal burlap in orange, and then here's the cutest ribbon of all. So this is pumpkins and berries, and it does have all the different colors. So it's got a lime green pumpkin, a little blue pumpkin, a yellow, and an orange, and then it's got fall orangey colored berries. So I'm going to make just a couple of loops with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make 1 loop and then cut, and then I'm going to add another little tail. So I'm only going to put one loop in this. Okay, so there's that. We added that to the back. I'm going to show you what it looks like after I fluff it. I'm going to tie off my bow. Now this arrangement is going to be for a get well soon. So I think a bow is completely appropriate for a get well soon arrangement. Now you can always be you can always make the choice. You do not have to use ribbon in every arrangement. I just think ribbon is a lot of fun. And especially now that we carry so many fun ribbons. So there is the bow that we're going to add, and we're just going to kind of tuck it over here to the side. Okay, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to add just a stem that I threw in the trash. So I'm going to take that stem, and I'm just going to wrap that wire right around that stem. Now let me tell you, the wonderful part about these bows on an arrangement is this cute fall bow can certainly be used on a plant or on a fun little lantern or a wreath. So she really gets 2 things for one, right? She gets a pretty ribbon that is perfect for the fall season, and she gets a beautiful arrangement. And there you have it. There is our bright fall arrangement ready to cheer someone up and wish them a speedy recovery. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's go through the types of flowers we used one more time. We used yellow mums. These are chrysanthemums. We used yellow roses, standard roses. We used orange spray roses. We used a peachy orangey colored hypericum berry. We used purple stock, almost a royal purple. We used solidago filler flower. We used Crispedia or Billy Balls. And we used our pumpkins on a stick, which are really fun. The foliage we used are my mind went blank. We used leather leaf foliage. We used some seeded eucalyptus just to give us some whimsy, and we used a really pretty painted Israeli ruscus. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. If there is any questions you might have about our flowers, about our ribbon, about anything we do here at our shop, don't hesitate to ask. We are so happy to answer those questions. Be sure to like this video. It helps us to grow. If you have not already subscribed, please do that right down below. Hit that little bell and you'll get notifications. Guys, y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you real soon. Thank you.